I decided to be the godmother of this event because I'm African.
For years, the silence surrounding Nicole, the ex-girlfriend of Prince Albert of Monaco, seemed unshakable. She kept a low profile, living quietly with her son, Alexander, away from the glare of the public eye. But now, the silence has been shattered, and what she's revealing could send shockwaves through the Monaco Palace and beyond. What's behind this sudden revelation, and how does it cast a shadow over the royal family? Nicole's words are sparking a firestorm of speculation, and in this video, we're diving deep into the truth that might just change the way we view the Monaco monarchy forever. The silence is broken. For years, Nicole Coste, Prince Albert's ex, lived in the shadows. While Albert and his wife, Princess Charlene, took center stage in the media, Nicole remained a quiet figure, largely out of the spotlight. She focused on raising her son, Alexander, and kept her distance from the prying eyes of the press. But now, Nicole has decided to break her silence, revealing a series of startling claims that have left the royal family scrambling. Her words paint a picture of tension, betrayal, and a struggle for relevance within the walls of the palace. And at the heart of it all, Princess Charlene. What really happened behind the gilded gates of Monaco's royal palace? Why has Nicole waited so long to speak out? And what does it all mean for the future of the royal family? A relationship marked by secrecy. Nicole and Albert's relationship started quietly, far from the paparazzi's prying lenses. Their bond was built on mutual respect and understanding. In the early years, they were not the public figures they would later become. Together, they had a son, Alexander, whose birth brought the couple even closer. But as time went on, their relationship, like many others, was tested by the complications of fame and royal expectations. When Charlene entered the picture, things began to shift. The attention around her engagement to Prince Albert was enormous, and it marked the beginning of a new chapter for Monaco's royal family. For Nicole, however, it felt like the end of an era. Suddenly, the quiet life she and Albert had shared was overshadowed by the grand spectacle of Charlene's arrival. As the world watched, Nicole's role in Albert's life seemed to fade, and the place she had once held in his world began to shrink. But it wasn't just her position in Albert's life that was in jeopardy. It was her son's future as well. A struggle for recognition. Alexander, the child born from Nicole and Albert's relationship, has always been a central figure in this story. Even though Albert publicly recognized him as his son, Alexander's place in the royal family was not as clear-cut. He was never given an official title, and his status remained ambiguous. This exclusion from the royal titles was no accident. It was part of the strict traditions that govern Monaco's royal family. For Nicole, the fact that her son wasn't granted a title was a constant reminder of the limitations placed on his future. She had hoped that Alexander would one day play an important role within the family, but those hopes seemed to be dashed by the unyielding rules of royal life. As time passed, she couldn't help but wonder, would Alexander ever have the recognition he deserved? Would he always be sidelined in favor of Albert and Charlene's more formal union? Nicole's frustration with the situation grew, especially as Charlene's influence within Albert's life seemed to increase. The royal family's internal dynamic was changing, and Nicole felt like her son, and by extension herself, was being left behind. But nothing could have prepared her for the breaking point that would come next. The shocking revelation. It all came to a head when Nicole revealed a specific incident that shook her to the core. According to Nicole, after Albert and Charlene's engagement, her son, Alexander, was moved to a different part of the palace, the employee wing. To Nicole, this wasn't just an ordinary logistical change. It felt like an intentional move that deliberately marginalized Alexander's place in the family. For Nicole, this was a bitter pill to swallow. She had always hoped that her son would be treated equally, that he would have a place at the table alongside Albert's legitimate heirs. But this move felt like a clear sign that Alexander was being treated as an outsider, someone who didn't quite belong in the royal family's inner circle. Nicole felt deeply hurt by this. To her, it was a personal affront, not just to her, but to her son's identity as part of the Monaco royal family. Was this a simple mistake? Or was it a deliberate attempt to push Alexander aside? The question lingered in the air. Nicole speaks out. After years of keeping quiet, Nicole finally decided to speak out. In doing so, she opened a floodgate of emotions, revealing a side of the story that had been kept hidden for far too long. In her public statements, Nicole didn't just talk about the logistics of royal life. She spoke about the emotional toll it had taken on her and her son. She spoke about the difficulties of raising a child in the shadow of such a powerful family, and how hard it had been to see her son excluded from the very institution his father was leading. Nicole also accused Princess Charlene of being a major factor in this exclusion. According to Nicole, it was Charlene who had influenced Albert's decisions regarding Alexander, particularly when it came to matters of status and recognition. While Nicole didn't go as far as to say Charlene was actively trying to erase Alexander's place in the family, the implication was clear. Charlene's presence in Albert's life had made things more difficult for both Nicole and her son. A royal family in turmoil. Nicole's decision to speak out has not been without consequences. Her revelations have caused a stir within the royal family and among the public. Prince Albert, reportedly shocked by Nicole's words, has expressed his frustration over the situation. He feels betrayed by her decision to air their private matters in such a public way. To him, this was an unnecessary scandal that threatened to expose the royal family's personal struggles to the world. The public's reaction to Nicole's revelations has been mixed. Some have praised her for speaking out and defending her son. They see her as a mother who is willing to fight for her child's dignity, regardless of the consequences. Others, however, have criticized her for stirring up trouble. They argue that her decision to speak publicly only adds to the tension surrounding the royal family and creates unnecessary drama. The fallout from Nicole's statements has sparked a broader conversation about the royal family's treatment of children born outside of marriage. For many, the question remains, should children like Alexander be treated as equals, or should they always be relegated to the background? The silent struggles of Princess Charlene. While Nicole has been vocal, Princess Charlene has remained silent. Reports of her health issues and struggles with adjusting to life as a royal have already put her under intense scrutiny. Nicole's claims about the treatment of her son only add fuel to the fire, and many now wonder how Charlene feels about these accusations. Does she feel responsible for the marginalization of Alexander, or is she simply a victim of a complicated family dynamic? Charlene's silence only adds to the mystery. Her refusal to speak on the matter has left the public to speculate about her side of the story. Is she trying to avoid further media attention, or does she have her own reasons for keeping quiet? What happens next? Nicole's decision to speak out has undeniably changed the dynamics within the royal family. Prince Albert now faces the challenge of balancing his roles as a father, a husband, and a ruler. Meanwhile, Princess Charlene must continue to navigate the growing public scrutiny surrounding her health and her role within the family. And what about Nicole and Alexander's future within the family? Will these revelations force the palace to reconsider its approach to family dynamics, or will they only deepen the existing tensions? As the public continues to follow this saga, one thing is certain: the Monaco royal family will never be the same again.